Welcome to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast with your hosts, Rob and Randy, who reveal the truth, the lies, and confusion about health so that you are no longer the victim to mainstream medical dogma and you are the hero to your own happy, healthy story.
Whoa. Hey, you guys, welcome to the Happy Healthy Life with Rob and Randy. Sorry, we were listening to a little Ace of Base. I saw the sign.
Heck.
You know who we can blame for that? Because now you guys are going to have this song in your head all day long. And by the way, today we're going to be talking about why diets work. We're also going to talk about why diets don't work as well. And so you're going to want to make sure that you listen to this episode. We're going to go through all the myths with that. But all right, so back to this Ace of Base
I know
thing.
exactly who to blame.
Yeah, who are we blaming? And I hope she's listening.
Yeah,
it's your fault.
We're blaming, and directly falls onto Hannah at Good Morning Texas.
Absolutely. That's Hannah Davis.
Yeah, Hannah Davis, who did an outstanding job today, by the way, on our live Good Morning Texas weekly segment here in Dallas-Fort Worth. But how did we even get on the topic of
we were
behind the scenes?
Yeah, the behind the scenes there, and follow her too, Hungry Hannah, and you can find her. She's got a lot of great things that she talks about on her Instagram. But she was talking about how behind the scenes, you know, what are some funny things that happen? And one of the producers that was there was talking about how she sings to herself.
That's what it was.
Behind the scenes, and that's, I guess, maybe one of her favorite.
And she
songs.
broke out into song, and it happened to be Ace of Base. So now that's the song of the day.
Yeah,
some of the people are like, who the heck is Ace of Base?
Yeah, that was from a long time ago. What would that have been, like maybe 20, 25 years ago?
Yeah, early 90s. I'm thinking early to mid 90s.
Yeah, if you like some Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign, let us know.
Give us a shout out.
We want to know. We want to know what you're like. Speaking of I Saw the Sign.
Yes.
Okay. I saw the sign when I was about 12 years old. You want to know what that sign was?
Tell me about it.
It was when I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow, I am overweight. That is a sign that I need to do something about this issue because I don't want to lose weight because of health reasons. I wanted to lose weight because the reality is the girls that were my age, the 12 and 13-year-olds, they didn't like the overweight, fat, chubby kids. And so I needed to do something about this if I was going to enter into the dating pool.
Yeah. And listen, I've seen pictures of you as a kid. You were a pretty darn cute kid, but the problem is that you weren't thinking you were a cute kid, and being overweight isn't cool.
No,
because obviously what that does, and it starts a mindset from an early age, something I never went through, but knowing about your story. And then in my own family, having my youngest brother, Ryan, who passed away from a heart attack at 27 years old, who really struggled with his weight for most of his adult life, seeing it, knowing about it, and all the people we've worked with, it is a real thing. But it's a sign that what you're doing isn't working.
It's not working.
And if what you're doing is not working, then you need to be willing and ready to do something different.
And that's the thing is I was really willing and ready to do something different. And that right there became my obsession into diets, because what I learned a diet to be was what my mom had learned a diet to be. And what do we all know about that? Diet really is all about, I don't care how you wrap it, shape it, package it, is really about caloric restriction. You know, when you hear the word diet, what are the first three letters in the word even spell?
D-I-E, die, run for your life. That's a red flag, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge red flag. But what we start thinking is we don't think about, okay, what it is that we're putting into our body for its nutritional value, what that's doing as far as the healing or the opposite, the destruction of our body. We're just doing it because at the end of the day, I want to look better in the mirror naked when I'm looking at myself, because, and then I've been taught, I say because that's really what society teaches us is a good thing. Here's what we know health-wise. Are you healthier when you don't have as much body fat? Absolutely, 100%. However, I was learning what to do and what to do next from my mom who was then always on some kind of a diet program, because that's what she learned, is that diet meant caloric restriction. So she would do all kind of crazy things. I can remember she did the boiled egg diet. The whole house freaking stunk. And so she's just eating boiled eggs.
What about the cabbage soup diet?
She never did the cabbage soup diet.
You're talking about your house stinking.
That sounds nasty though. I'm not a big cabbage fan, especially not cooked cabbage.
Yeah.
And then I remember she did she did all the lean cuisines, right? Because the lean cuisines only had a certain amount of calories that were in them. Right. She did the slim fast shakes. She was doing the Hollywood Beach juice diet, the one that you buy at like 3 a.m. in the morning. And now all you're doing is drinking juice.
Wow. What a concept. Drink juice all day and lose weight. Sounds number one, impossible. It's almost like what's the one diet everybody did? The wine diet.
I've never done the wine diet.
Where you drink a little bit of wine every day and you lose weight, but you also lose your driver's license.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm done with the jokes. I told one earlier. I'm done for the day.
I thought you were like being serious. I was like, wine diet. I've never heard that. I'm like thinking grapefruit diet. I've heard of the grapefruit diet. Remember that one? You just eat a bunch of grapefruits.
Yeah.
So there's all kind of crazy things, but at the end of the day, what you're really doing is it's all about caloric restriction. And does caloric restriction work? Yeah. It absolutely works, right? If you take out calories, because what we know is that, calorie is a measure of energy, mm-hmm. and that's what the cells need in order to be able to work. It's got to get that energy from somewhere. Yeah. And so, if there's no calories or no energy, it's got to pull it from other places. And eventually you are going to lose some weight by doing that.
Yep. Here's one of the problems with that though. And there's a lot of problems with it. But yeah, so if you initially cut calories and you, what do they say, burn more than you consume, then you'll lose weight. But what happens is diets work and then they don't. And one of the reasons is your body doesn't like to run in deficit. So when you cut calories, you're creating a caloric deficit. The body likes to be in balance, homeostasis. So what your body does, it begins to slowly adapt to the caloric restriction, to the deficit, to not put that stress on the body. And inadvertently, what you did is you wrecked your metabolism, which we'll dive into in a second. But that's why if you've ever done a diet, and like you said, they're really all the same, whether it's the keto diet, whether it's the low carb, whether it's a low fat, whether it's a prepackaged program of reconstituted food and protein bars and shakes, whatever you did, if you're eating multiple times a day, whatever you're doing, you're cutting calories. And at the end of this thing, when all the dust settles, you may end up being worse than when you started.
Yeah. And that really, and I want to go into this as well, because I think one of the things that people don't talk about is what this really does to you on an emotional and a mindset level. Because what you do is, okay, it worked. And this is a day in the life of little Rob growing up, right? You take the calories out, you get on the scale, you weigh less, and then you keep doing that until, like you said, it stops. Okay, well, now because I'm not losing weight, even though I know I need to lose more weight, now I'm starving my body. But what I did, like you said, is I overrode my body's system at the beginning. And then my body goes back to, okay, my metabolism wasn't working well anyway. We're going into starvation. And because we're going into starvation, we're going to now start storing all of the calories that you are putting in, as little as that is, and storing that as fat. And now we have a problem. I've stopped losing weight. And so guess what that means? Oh, I just need to try a different diet. And now I'm eating the lean cuisines instead, or drinking the slim fast shake. And I'm just diverting my attention over to doing something else.
Totally.
To somehow try to trick the body. And here's what that does from a mindset perspective is it creates an obsession with dieting. This obsession with body image, this obsession with looking at yourself and not feeling like you're enough, because now what you start doing is you start blaming yourself for why you're not losing the weight. Well, maybe it's my genetics. Maybe it's because God created me this way, and there's all these other people who are super blessed who don't have to worry about this stuff, and I'm now different than those people. And this really starts that obsession with comparing yourself to others at a very early age, and trying to do things outside of yourself because of these body image issues. I cannot imagine if that would have been me back then with today's technology, with Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all those things out there telling you that you have to look a certain way. And I mean, it's crazy. So if I was obsessed back then, it would have been insanely obsessed now and would have really wrecked me from a mindset perspective.
Yeah. And thank you for being vulnerable there, because your journey is a real journey that a lot of people listening or watching can connect with, because you did struggle and you did have body image issues. You probably still carry some of those even today, as much as you want to work on yourself and get better. And it kind of goes back to, and we used to paint this scenario a lot in a lot of our lectures. And as we would talk to other doctors, you think about, you've got the two different types of people. And a lot of times you fall into one of these categories. So, the one person, and as we're describing this person, who are you thinking of? But they're the person that could eat whatever they wanted and they don't gain a pound.
They hate that person.
Right. It's even worse if you're married to that person, if that's your significant other,
or your best friend,
right? So I can even remember because I was the guy who could eat wherever he wanted and not gain any weight, and you didn't have that same luxury. So we would go to dinner and you'd barely pick at your food, and I'm looking at your plate like a hound dog, salivating, going, "Are you going to finish the rest of that?"
Here you go. It's yours, because I knew if I ate more, I was going to gain weight.
Totally. And so you've got that person, really doesn't matter. They eat whatever they want. They don't gain any weight. No, we're not saying that person's healthy. And clearly I end up having my day of reckoning with the cancer diagnosis, but they're not overweight. Yet the other person who's counting every single point, every single calorie, every single step, they literally walk by a bakery and sniff it and gain 4 pounds. Yet that person can't budge, and they're working very, very hard. The person that I've described initially is the boulder downhill. If you're the person that can't budge and you try to do everything perfect, that's the boulder uphill. It's frustrating. It's definitely going to have a quick expiration date, and you're going to get stuck. You're going to fluctuate, and you're going to end up being that yo-yo dieter. So here's what we know is if food and diet controlled what people weighed, then everybody who ate perfect would be thin, and everybody who ate bad would be overweight. And those rules are broken every single day by those two people we just described. So if you're listening and you're watching and you feel like that's me, and I don't eat well enough to deserve to be at a good weight, I don't go to the gym enough to deserve to be at a good weight, it's not true. Give yourself a break. It's not your fault.
Well, some of it may be your fault, a little bit.
Okay, maybe a little bit your fault. But yes, it may be 2% your fault, but it's not your fault. Rob, what is it?
Here it is. It starts with an M and ends with metabolism. It's your metabolism.
Yes.
So that right there is the missing piece. If you're not addressing your metabolism or your basal metabolic rate, it'll be nearly impossible to lose weight and keep it off long term. So this is why diets work and then they don't work, because if you've got an unhealthy metabolism, and that's how your body takes what it is that you're putting into it and then converts it into that energy that's going to be used as fuel. And we've talked about that on other episodes as far as the science behind that. But if that is slowed down, it's kind of like it's your hypothalamic weight set point, or we call your metabolic weight set point. So it's like the thermostat on your air conditioner. If it's set at, let's say, 75 degrees, well, you can open up the windows, you can close the windows, whatever it is that you're going to do, it's always going to come to 75 degrees. So if your basal metabolic weight set point is set at a certain area and it's unhealthy, your body's always going to want to take you back down to that point, no matter what it is that you do, what it is that you eat. So if you're not addressing that metabolism and healing it on a cellular level, or knowing why it's not working, it's going to be really, really hard to lose that weight and keep it off long term.
Yeah. And that's why long-term dieting, you really keep setting your thermostat into a place where it doesn't matter what you do. And if you've ever been that person where you feel like it really doesn't matter what I do anymore, I can starve myself, I can go keto, I can go run 5 miles a day, but nothing seems to move the needle, is your weight set point needs to be recalibrated. And so a better question to start asking yourself is not, what's my next diet? The next question is, what do I need to do to address my metabolism and create a whole new thermostat for my body? Because what happens to the food when you eat it? Do you burn it or do you store it? And when you have a strong, robust metabolism, you're going to burn those calories, and it's very easy to manage your weight. If your metabolism's unhealthy and your weight set point is out of kilter, it really doesn't matter what you do. Whatever you eat, you're storing it as body fat. And that's another reason why you got to remember, if you're eating and snacking all the time and doing the diet programs, a lot of this food's not even real. It's programming your body to store fat, and you can't even burn fat if you're eating all the time. So you've got to remember that if you're eating all day long or you're snacking and all the things that diets teach you to do, you're only able to burn those calories, and you're only able to burn those calories at the level and the health of your metabolism. Okay. So Rob, if somebody's listening and watching right now and they feel stuck, they feel like their metabolism is really, really slowed down, and dieting and exercising just isn't really moving the needle anymore, what would be the first step for somebody? What would be that they need to do to start getting back on track?
The first step is just like the Bible says, renew your mind, right? Start with a new belief system. Everything that we do is all about what it is that we believe. You have to start believing that health and wellness comes from the inside out. Okay, that's what we always talk about. Health and wellness comes from above down and inside out. Believe it is a metabolism issue. And the first thing that you need to do is understand that, believe it. Find out why your metabolism is not working, and get rid of the belief that it's about calories in and calories out. Because if your belief system is in and calories out, guess what? Every diet plan everywhere does is they tell you to restrict calories.
Yeah. And if you believe that too many calories are why you're struggling, then the only solution for you is to always cut your calories. And from what we've talked about, hopefully we're coming to a new understanding that, wait a second, it's way more complex than that. With that being said, it's way more simple than that. Absolutely. Because the complexity of what we're talking about is so simple when you start looking and seeing it through a different set of lenses. Remember, don't lose weight to get healthy to lose weight. If you're struggling with your weight, you're not healthy. Something is wrong. The weight is a symptom, and diets only treat the symptom. They do not get to the cause. Never forget that health is the normal. Obesity and chronic illness is the abnormal. You don't have to settle for anything less than feeling and looking your best, just like God created you to be.
Exactly. So here's the action steps for today's podcast. I think it's probably a good place to start wrapping it up. Okay. Next week, we're going to talk about some of the most popular programs that are out there, why they don't work, but how to overcome that, really get the healing going on inside your body. So here's the action steps for this week. Number one is change your mindset. Okay. That belief system that, believe that, health and wellness does come from the inside out. Okay. It's not calories in and calories out. So the other step is going to be is write down why it's important for you to have the health and the wellness that you've always dreamed of. Why is it important for you to live your life happy and healthy? And everybody's why is going to be different, and everybody's what will be different as well. And what I mean by the what is, maybe for you, the what is losing weight. Maybe for you, the what is reducing your risk of having a heart attack, decreasing your blood pressure. That's a mouthful. Blood pressure, your inflammation, whatever your health why is. No, I'm so proud of my sister, Stephanie, where she, and for those of you guys that listened last week, I talked about how I lost my stepmom, her mom, a few weeks ago, and it was tragic. It was something that wasn't expected. It was because of health reasons. Now, what that did, though, for Stephanie is that motivated her to start making some changes. And she's been really diligent about that. And her why has changed. So what I want you to do is write down what your why is. Why is it important for you to live your life happy and healthy? And look at that on a daily basis. And I guarantee you're going to be coming from a different place.
Yeah. Control your thoughts. Your thoughts, a lot of times they're negative. I think one of the key pieces to success in anything is seeing it before it happens.
Yep.
See yourself healthy. Your thoughts are more powerful than reality. What do you want your reality to be? See it, write it down like you said, manifest it, believe it, say it, hold yourself accountable to that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be healthy. Health is the norm. Disease is the abnorm. You weren't created genetically inferior. You were created with God's DNA, and he created you for success in all areas of your life. We honestly believe that. Do you believe that? So we could keep going, but let's shut her down. I know we'll come back next week, like you talked about, go through some more specifics and different diets and the reasons why they don't work and how to overcome that. But I hope everybody leaves today's episode knowing that we really love you guys. We appreciate your support. If you're learning anything, share it. Give us a 5-star review. Give us a review. Send us a question. We want to help you live your best life. And that's why we're doing this. And this is really, we're having a great time doing it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And send all your questions to the Happy Healthy Guys on the gram, on Instagram, the Happy Healthy Guys.
Oh, is that what cool people say?
The gram.
The gram?
Exactly.
I called it IG. That's frowned upon.
That's old people. It's the gram.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Awesome. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening.
We're out.
Thanks for listening to the Happy Healthy Life podcast. If you enjoy the show, make sure to follow them on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at The Happy Healthy Guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts.